is the first part of the Art and Science Meeting project this year.
These machines are an answer to the problem of labor and entertainment freedom. So these machines do nothing else, but what they do is what Mitsubishi has programmed. And the so-called artist did not interfere with the programming. The only thing he did was to take off all the material which normally these machines do, so therefore they are freed from their labor. And this labor doesn't appear to be a labor. According to the public, people think that these machines are entertainment machines. So in a way, both are right. Thankful to Jasia, because she was one of the very first people in the universe who understood what those machines really are.
When I first started to build this sculpture, I wanted it to be about things that could not reproduce themselves, whether it be a machine or an animal. And I chose a mule, in this case, because it is a hybrid between a horse and a donkey, and as such, each mule is sterile. And so each mule is at the end of its own genetic line, has no further to go. And I thought this was kind of similar to some machines. It's like each one is the last of its own line. And really the only way it could reproduce itself was to draw a picture of itself. And I thought this would be the artifact it left behind in the world.
I made the piece so that it has graceful walking movement, and at the same time it walks with its own power. So it is really pushing along on the platform. And it walks around in a circle, which is infinity, this is forever, and it has pauses. I had to think of a way of making the body fluid, that when I'm walking, my chin is in a straight line and my body is moving from side to side, like this. So this was the objective, to make it flow.
And it's a combination of things I normally work with. So sound, movement, lights. I always wanted to make a machine or a kinetic sculpture that you could really connect to your body, so it would become one with you in a certain way. As a performance piece, to see what happens if you connect the machine really to the body. And actually is that how we are connecting to machines and connecting machines to our own body in all kinds of ways. So there's the human aspect, the technological aspect, and of course the animal aspect. What I like is when you look at something, first you have a first impression, you think you know what it is, but then when the movement starts and the sound and takes on different shapes and its own anatomy. So it creates its own anatomy. It's not dependent on evolution anymore. It creates its own evolution.
This way and that, make it go away into the box and trash and outside and reuptake.
During the 80s in New York especially, there was something that was organized which was called voguing. These were celebrations or meetings in which people could dress up according to what they wanted to be. I shall never forget a particularly moving example of a homeless man borrowing a suit and a briefcase and parading through the crowd as a barrister. And everybody clapped. I feel the same about some of the works which attempt to overcome the limitations of the machine, of the technology, of the size, etc. And that's why I think that this is the sort of idea, the sort of exhibition that can go on forever. Because we shall always be making things which are wish fulfillment objects, which is true of marionettes, automata, computers, etc. One. This robot, you might have seen the pictures, is a Japanese female at the moment on view in Beijing. And she looks so much like a human being, and they're trying to make her behave like a human being, and she's copying the gestures, the manners, etc. That's a pity. After all, a robot should have its own nature and rather develop that. And so I'm sorry about things that want to pretend to be completely something else.
I work in the Center for Fine Arts in Brussels, and we encounter artists from all over the world. Big museum, we show always the same things everywhere in the world. A couple of big names running like Damien Hirst, or I can mention a couple of others. And when we want to do something exciting, it's very often in the sphere of arts and technology. And we started a program that's called Arts and Technology Program of the Center for Fine Arts. It's completely not new, but what we do is we bring artists together with technologists and scientists. We are too busy living our lives, and artists, they are a little bit outside our lives, so they can learn, the scientists and the technologies, very interesting things. Artists, they have to keep Europe above because their creativity also stimulates innovation. So they don't only produce art, but they can also learn much in Europe to stimulate us to make a better world.